USB mic. I want to change this.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Are we live? Are we live? So I switched back, chat, to my, okay, that's really loud. Let me turn that down. It's probably so distorted. Let me turn that way down. I switched back to my toner mic. This little mic right here that's on the little stretchy arm thing. Because I noticed it sounds way better. Like way better than just like the headset mic. I mean, no surprise there. No surprise there that a standalone sounds better than a built-in mic. Oh, that's really loud. That's really loud. Okay. I didn't switch that. Hold up. There we go. There we go. Okay, what's up, chat? What is everybody up to? I should really do these things more prepared. I should come more prepared, chat. How's everybody doing today? I'm eating lunch. We need to let the Discord know that we're live. There we go. What is everybody up to today, chat? How's it going? What have you guys done today? I've been non-stop moving since I got up. I've been non-stop moving, okay? Like my bed, underneath my bed, it really needed to be picked up, the entire mattress, and like cleaned under and like vacuumed and shit. And I've been putting it off for so long. But finally, today we made that happen. So I've been going. I've been non-stop going. What is up, Wonderlust? Jalen, hello. Richard, what's up, everybody? Hope you're well. I've been feeling anxious, then you pop up. Here I am. Doing good. Just finished making some homemade peach ice cream. Fixing to start on dinner now. Homemade peach ice cream? That sounds really good. That sounds really good. Should send some virtual peach ice cream my way. We plan on like grilling out later, like cooking out. Maybe in a few hours or something. I'm really looking forward to that. It's the small things, exactly. Exactly. Let's get some music going. You know, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever tried peach ice cream. Yeah, I don't think I've tried that. Youngest 3 kids had doctor's appointments, and that 2.5 hours. I got you, bro. I would send some, but I believe it would melt coming from Knoxville. You're not wrong. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to take it note for note. Don't worry, chat. Be happy. Before I couldn't even go in the store, trying to take it day by day. What's the best way to beat depersonalization or just being zoned out because of anxiety? 2 main keys, always. Doesn't matter what symptom you're struggling with. Doesn't matter. 2 main keys is what I'll always recommend. Not adding second fear, acceptance, showing the brain there's no need for anxiety. Not bothering with those thoughts. Those thoughts are no longer your responsibility. What up? Happy Monday. Finally watching live. What's up, Chase? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good one, man. Yeah, chat. I've been nonstop since I woke up, just getting shit done. I'm tired already, and it's not even 5 o'clock yet. How's the mic sound? Does it sound a lot better when we use the standalone? We broke out the standalone. Does it sound better than the headset? Like if you compared today's audio to yesterday's? How's it going? Welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is an anxiety chat and chill stream. These long drawn out streams, they don't get uploaded, but if you're lucky enough to catch us live, you can ask any question, okay, any burning questions you might have. Feel free to ask. The next thing you'll see on the channel is probably a video. Just a heads up. What's up, Brady? Anxiety can cause bodily pain, yes. Aches and pains, yes. So what am I doing that gives thoughts attention, and what do I do to shrink it? Because I need to know if I'm doing something wrong. So anytime you talk back to your thoughts, you're giving them attention. Anything you do with the thoughts, you're giving it attention. If you're doing something other than just letting the thoughts play out, you're giving it attention. Let them be there. Fuck them. Fuck them. Am I right? Just let them be there. You don't want to give them attention. You don't want to feel the fire. I've got a fly in my room, and it's so annoying. It is so annoying when you've got that one fly that just won't go away. It's the worst. It's the worst. So even though this is an anxiety chat and chill, okay, I do want to make one small point in today's stream. We've got a lot of questions coming in lately about thoughts. I guess people tuned into my 3-minute video the other day about the only anxiety video you need, where I briefly touch on thoughts and say not to argue with your thoughts and not to bother with them anymore. And I think a lot of people are still confused on that. So I'm going to just give you a very quick, easy example, okay? Easy to digest. So let's say I'm sitting here, I'm streaming, we feeling good, we lit, okay? And then I get the random thought of, oh no, I might go crazy. This anxiety might make me go crazy. And because I'm in a sensitized body, I get a little bit of anxiety from that, or a lot. What do I do in that moment? Well, in that moment, you just say to yourself, okay, there's that thought. I'm not going to do anything about it. You're not going to talk to it. You're not going to fight with it. You're not going to argue with it. You're not going to do anything with it. You're just going to acknowledge it and accept it. Okay, there it is, whatever. Okay, and as far as the anxiety in the body goes, we're just going to let that play out too. We're not going to add any second fear to that. We're just going to accept that, and we're not going to get into all these unreasonable, irrational thoughts about it. It's just what it is. It's just that feeling. There's that feeling. I may not like it, but there's just that feeling. It's just that feeling. Nothing more, nothing less. Just that feeling is there. And we're just going to accept it and move on with our day and show our brain, by not cowering away, that all is well. Okay? That's the goal. That is the goal. That is the goal, chat. Just accept the fly, man. Yeah, at this point. At this point, that's what we're going to have to do. So if you're worried about having a panic attack, it's not because you're worried about driving. It's not because you're worried about this. It's not because you're worried about that. You're worried about the feelings. You're not actually afraid of what you think you're afraid of. Okay, and what I mean by that is you're not actually afraid of driving. You're not actually afraid of this. You're not actually afraid of that. You know these things are things that you once enjoyed doing. Okay, you're not really afraid of these things. You're afraid of the feelings. So obviously there still needs to be a bit of a change in the relationship towards these feelings, okay? If you're still trying to run away from these feelings, if you're still trying to fight with these feelings, that's where acceptance needs to come into play, and we need to start to learn how to embrace these feelings without fearing them as much. Not adding fear to fear. We need to start to use acceptance and practice embracing these feelings and being okay with them. Because you're not really afraid of what you think you're afraid of. You're afraid of the feelings at the end of the day. You're afraid of the feelings at the end of the day. So if you lose the fear of the feelings, everything else just kind of falls into place. And to lose the fear of the feelings, we have to practice acceptance. We have to get comfortable with experiencing these feelings and looking them right in the eye, okay? And not cowering from them, not running from them. Because it's all the running, okay, that we do that doesn't allow us to get to the point where we can see these feelings for what they really are, harmless. How do I know that I'm doing it right? You'll begin to heal. You'll begin to heal, and you'll notice your old self start to come back out. It takes time. It takes time, but you'll notice your old self, glimpses of your old self start to come back out. Let the thoughts bring whatever reactions they want to bring. Don't react to them. It's just the thoughts tricking and bluffing a tired body. That's all it is. The thoughts themselves are not important or true. They're just tricking a tired body. How do you know if a therapist is good for you? I don't want to give up on her after 2 sessions. She said she had one panic. So the question is, how do you know if a therapist is good for you? Honestly, I don't know. That's up to you. I don't want to touch on that. I would never tell anybody they should stop going to their therapist. It's completely up to you. I don't really touch on medication or doctors or therapists. That's all personal choice.
What we do here is go back.
Chat. You will not fall, Brady. I know what jelly legs feels like. It's uncomfortable. It's a pain in the ass. It's quite annoying. But they're not going to give out on you. As Dr. Claire Weeks says in some of her books, they are still perfectly good legs. They are still perfectly good legs, as Dr. Claire Weeks says. She said that in one of her books. It's good. That was good. Chat, we litty today. Okay. I love the background music. Okay. Why does it still say that? Did you get your pizza yesterday? No, actually, we did not end up spending that goal on pizza. I lied to you. I lied to you. We actually did not end up spending that goal on pizza, okay? For one, it was too late to order any pizza, so they wouldn't deliver it past like 10 o'clock. And secondly, I realized and remembered that I needed a bathroom exhaust fan because ours basically blew up from being so old. The motor just burned up. And yeah, I remembered that as I was laying in bed last night, and I was like, you know what? My YouTube fam hooked me up yesterday. We hit our tip goal, so I've got money to actually order and replace the bathroom exhaust fan. So that's what we ordered. We ordered a new bathroom exhaust fan and motor with the tip goal, which is equally as important, if not more important, than pizza. So thank you, okay, chat, for helping me hit that tip goal. Appreciate it. I also ordered some new sheets. I needed new sheets. So that's what the tip goal went to. Good shit. This music is turned. That goes on for quite some time. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for that, chat. I appreciate it. Love you guys. You're very generous. Thank you so much. Yeah, sometimes out of habit you can get caught in your thoughts without really noticing it. It's a strong habit, right? I need new sheets too. Yeah, I desperately needed new sheets and a new blanket. So we ordered that yesterday. And the fan to fix the bathroom exhaust. So thank you for that, chat. Appreciate that. Anytime I snuggle up in bed now in my nice new sheets and with my new blanket, I'll think of you. First of all, I don't even like the term setback. I know a lot of people use that term. Personally, I like to use a bit of a different wording for that. I like to refer to setbacks as perfect opportunities to continue learning and retraining, because that's all it is, right? It's your brain checking in to make sure you're not in any real danger, checking in to make sure, okay, that you're truly okay before it totally eases off. So change the wording there first and foremost. See it in a new light. And I mean that kind of goes hand in hand with what we preach quite often too, about changing your perspective towards the feelings, to see your feelings in a new light. That's a good one. That's one that I like to recommend. To see your feelings for what they really are instead of what your mind is making them out to be. That music is not upbeat enough. There we go. So to see your feelings for what they really are, not what your mind is making them out to be. Okay? So instead of such a dreadful experience, you really just want to look at the feelings for what they truly are. I can't stress that enough. You really want to get in there with a magnifying glass and see them for what they really are, instead of, oh no, this means I'm dying, or oh no, this means I'm going crazy. Does that make sense? You really want to get in there and truly see them for what they are. Yes. Exactly, Jesse. Look at it as a perfect opportunity to retrain, to practice. If the body wants to react to thoughts, that's fine. You don't have to do anything about the thoughts. Understand you're just being tricked. The only reason the body is reacting is because the nerves are tired. So the thoughts aren't the problem anyway. It's the sensitization that's the problem, not the thoughts. How do we cure sensitization? How do we recover from sensitization? Acceptance. Not adding fear on top of fear. Not adding fear on top of fear. Show the brain with those behaviors that all is well. We low on water. We'll grow like a tree and be strong, yes. Be cured? Yes. Well, I mean, sensitization is just a state of the nervous system, right? So if you're sensitized, your nerves are just tired. And can nerves be untired? Yes. You can heal your nerves. I'm so ready for this this cookout, chat. Fucking big boy, okay? I'm ready for some burgers. I am ready. Freedom will come, yes. I seen Will in here earlier. Will, are you still around? I seen you pop in earlier. We were cooking out on Saturday. Our oldest daughter is getting married, and we're going to celebrate. That is awesome. Congrats. Shout out to your daughter. Congratulations. Who doesn't love a good cookout? It's my favorite. Congrats to her, yes. Congrats, congrats. It's awesome. So if any other question that my mind say, don't do nothing, just act like there's nothing going on and don't let it affect my behavior, but then it feels like when I don't do nothing, the thoughts sit. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, you have to stop fighting. You have to stop fighting with a thought. Even if the thought wants to stick around, that's fine. Unfortunately, the truth is, in order to recover, you have to allow those thoughts to be there. You have to allow those thoughts to come in and be there. You have to allow them to play. And if that means focusing on your behaviors and reacting in a positive manner and just carrying on as if nothing's wrong because nothing is, but in the meantime, those thoughts are still there for a bit. They're still there for a while, knocking on your door. That's fine. We have to get to the point where we can allow that. You have to allow that while carrying on with your positive accepting behaviors. And I know it sucks because you want nothing more than the thoughts to go away, but by wanting them to go away and trying to push them out, you might get temporary short-term relief, but I promise you they're going to come back the next day with a fucking hammer to beat down your door. They're going to come back the next day stronger than ever. The more fuel you give to these thoughts, the more you try to push them away, okay? The more you try to argue with them and fight with them, the more attention you give them, the stronger they become. You just keep injecting these thoughts with steroids is what you're doing every time that you fight with them. Every time. Every time. I know it's so tempting. It is so tempting. But you cannot. You cannot fight with these thoughts. And if they want to stay for the time being, that is fine. That is fine. Last time you had a panic attack? I actually did a video on the last time I had a panic attack. Search up Wonder Bro panic attack. I think it's in there somewhere. I recall that. I did a video on that. It's been a while. It's been years, but you can watch the video on that if you're interested. I did like a mass delete spree the other day, but I'm pretty sure that one's still in there. It's mental health related, so it probably is. There is nothing about acceptance or true recovery that will make it to where the thoughts just stop altogether. That is an end goal. That is something that's going to happen in time when you recover. That is not something that's going to happen right away. You have to become comfortable with allowing them to be there. And it's not as bad as it sounds. Like, once you realize that you were adding so much second fear and so much resistance, and you were becoming so tired from all the fighting, once you realize all these things, you're like, wow, letting the thoughts actually be there is not as bad as it sounds. I was really causing a lot of that suffering myself. That's just a few things you come to realize. This is a jam right here. It's all about moving forward regardless of the anxious feelings and regardless of the thoughts. It's all about doing as many positive things in one day, every single day, regardless of how anxious you are, what thoughts are there, to show your brain there's no need for the anxiety. You'll desensitize with the two main keys, right? You'll desensitize and you'll go back to not having so much anxiety with all these thoughts, and you'll go back to being yourself again. Is that to say you can't relapse? No, you can relapse. I did like 3 times before I made the channel. The reason for that is, though, is because I kept picking back up bad habits. The anxiety would revisit me from time to time, just as a little test here and there, and I'd give right back in. A little bit of anxiety would turn into a lot of anxiety because I was still fighting. I was still adding second fear. I was still fighting and obsessing with my anxious thoughts. I was still falling for the trick of anxiety every single time, and it would lead to these bouts of sensitization. But here's the thing. If you stick to the 2 main keys, okay, when that anxiety comes back from time to time to test you, because when you're recently recovered, it will come back from time to time to test you for most people. But if you can just, stick to the 2 main keys and not pick up all those bad habits that put you there in the first place, you can stay anxiety free. I have now for almost 3 years since I started this channel. I don't know the exact time frame, but it's been a while. Recently recovered people can relapse, and that is simply because they pick up the same bad habits that put them in the sensitized boat to begin with. That makes sense, right? Two main keys are good for life in general, though. Don't forget that. The two main keys are good life skills. I mean, not arguing with your negative intrusive thoughts and using acceptance toward your feelings and allowing yourself to feel. I mean, these are keys that are good for life. Not just sensitization. Follow your bliss. What is up? How are you doing? Even with new thoughts, it doesn't matter. If a thought is bluffing your sensitized, tired nerves and giving you some sort of an anxious reaction, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the thought's saying. A thought is still just a thought. It can go hand in hand. It doesn't really matter. If the symptoms are there and they cause thoughts to start, you still don't need to argue with those thoughts that are intrusive and coming in. If the thoughts cause feeling, regardless, either way, whichever starts whichever. Thoughts start feelings, feelings starts thoughts, and then they all get jumbled up and play off of each other. The 2 main keys still apply either way. Either way, I get what you're saying, but either way, the 2 main keys applies. How are you doing? Follow your bliss. How are you doing today? I remember this song from yesterday. I love this song. It's so catchy. I'm awesome, having some ice cream. What flavor? That is the question. When I get paid, I'm going to give you some cash flow. I appreciate that, but don't feel obligated. Please do not feel obligated to donate, but thank you so much. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? How are you doing? When you say don't silence the mind, but then you say don't talk to them. Okay, very simply put, thoughts can be there, right? You cannot and you will not ever be able to control when intrusive thoughts come. Thoughts will come with or without your consent, and that is nothing that you can do anything about. But just stay silent. What I mean by stay silent or silent the mind would be to stop fueling it. And that silencing the mind is a result of when you stop fueling it. So the mind becomes a bit more quiet and a bit more silent when you stop giving it so much fuel and attention. If the thoughts want to continue to come, that's fine, but you'll notice the longer you practice not giving them fuel or attention, that the mind becomes more and more quiet. So if you don't talk to the thoughts, okay, That's how you end up silencing the mind. I get what you're saying. You're kind of confused because you think, well, how do we silence the mind if we don't talk to it? We got to be able to talk to it in order to get it to be quiet. No, you're actually going to achieve the opposite if you start talking to it. You're going to give it fuel and it's going to get louder and louder. If you want to silence the mind, what you have to do is practice just not giving it any of your attention or fuel, not talking back to it, not entertaining those thoughts, just letting them play like the broken record they are. And eventually it becomes more and more quiet. Rum raisin ice cream, that sounds really good. Everybody's eating ice cream today. Anybody else notice that? I get what you're saying though, Jalen. On some level it makes sense that you would think that in order to silence the mind we need to convince it to be quiet, but the more you try to convince it to be quiet, the louder it's going to get. So if you really want to silence the mind, you have to stop giving it fuel, attention, and focus and power. All of these are just different terms that basically mean stop talking to it. Stop talking to it. That's all these terms. Don't confuse yourself in thinking, what does this mean or that mean? It all comes back to just stop talking to it. Stop talking back to the thoughts. Let them be there. You can be aware of them. That's fine. So it's okay to silence the mind from the thought. The mind becoming more and more quiet and more silent will come as a result of you no longer talking back or entertaining those negative intrusive thoughts. Eventually, that's just a byproduct. So the mind will become more and more quiet the less you give it fuel and focus and attention. And if the intrusive thoughts still want to come for quite some time, that's fine. You can't control that. But the less and less you talk to it, the better off you'll be. No, I appreciate all questions I get. No question is a dumb question. You might see me get really hype when I'm answering certain questions and I'm talking like, really quick and I'm trying to make these powerful points. It's not because I'm angry that you asked a question or that I think the question is stupid. I don't think any questions are stupid. The reason I get hype is because I like to really nail home my points. And I think the best way to teach is to teach with a no bullshit approach, which is what I've always done. So don't confuse that for me being a dickhead. I don't think I'm a dickhead. I'm a pretty nice guy. It's just if you're going to teach something, you got to teach with a no nonsense approach, or at least that's what I believe. All right. I'm not even gonna like. Hold on. Sorry, I've got a bunch of shit open. Yeah, exactly, Jesse. Much love right back at every single one of you. Appreciate all you guys. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the BRB screen for literally like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Had to grab a smoke. That is a good question, Kristen. So when thoughts are about real life problems, they seem harder to accept, and it's easier to give into the obsession. So when we're dealing with real life situations or real life problems, there's actually something going on. You really have two options. You can either solve that problem, and if the problem is solvable, then that's fine. Go and solve it, and then it's no longer a problem. The other way that can go is that the problem can't be solved. You have a real life issue that can't be solved. And in that case, there's nothing that your worry will do. Your worry will not change the outcome. Your worry will not somehow come up with a solution. You're not going to come up with a solution from worry. In fact, most solutions come from a place of non-worry. So you have two choices there. Either A, solve the problem, or B, if it can't be solved, your obsession is going to do nothing but make it even harder for you to solve it. It's going to make it even harder for you for reasonable solutions to come to you, because you're drowning in obsession and worry, and you're never going to find good solutions in obsession and worry. So that's the way you need to look at that. That's the way you need to look at that. If you want a real solution to come to your real life problems, then you're going to have to get that from a place of stillness. You're going to have to get that from a place of non-worry, non-obsession, because helpful solutions are not going to come to you when you're in a state of anxiety. In fact, that's when we are less capable of making good decisions. Not only that, but 9 times out of 10, most of what you worry about, or quote-unquote real-life problems, turn out way better than you could ever expect. But when the thoughts are there, talking going on in my head about a picture, is that me being caught up in my head? Anything that's going on in your mind, whether it be a mental image, whether it be some sort of dialogue, inner dialogue, if it's going on in your mind and it's not going on out in front of you in real life, then yeah, it's just a product of the mind. Why is this skipping and not playing? Oh well, it's time to change videos. But yeah, if it's going on in your mind, whether it be a mental image, a picture, or some sort of inner dialogue, if it's going on in your head, it's in your head. And if you're getting up in there and having a dialogue with it and participating, then that is entertaining your thoughts. I made a cake and can't stop eating it. So good. I've been wanting some ice cream too. Cake and ice cream. Everybody's eating cake and ice cream today. What's up? What's up, Will? Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? See, I mean, you have to know the difference between question asking because you're genuinely trying to learn, or question asking because you're in a state of obsession. For me, I did a lot of Googling back in the day, and it wasn't because I was trying to learn anything. And normally 9 times out of 10, I didn't come out of my Google sessions with anything new learned. It was simply out of a state of obsession. It was an anxious habit. So be aware of that. You know what needs to be done, and you can word it a million different ways. But are you just obsessing? 9 times out of 10, you're just obsessing. You're stuck in the mind. You're up there in the mind with all these questions, and you're entertaining these questions that don't need to be asked because you already know the answer, and you're just doing it out of habit. You're doing it out of an anxious reaction. So you need to be aware of that. Exactly. If you can't solve the problem, then your only other option is to let a solution come to you, and you won't have a solution come to you if you're in a worried or obsessed mind. It's kind of like, what other option do you have? You can worry and obsess about this thing, but it's not going to accomplish anything. Stay away from Google, yes. I've done several videos on that alone. Stay away from Google. So is it normal to accidentally talk to the mind because I get caught up in it without me knowing until I realize? That's very normal, especially at first. You're in a very bad habit of talking to your mind. In fact, most human beings are. I would go out on a limb and say 90%, if not 99% of the human population spends most of their time in their mind talking to their thoughts and having an inner dialogue with their thoughts. Thoughts are not you. They don't come from you. They are a product of your brain. The thoughts just come. They come in, and if you want to sit and have an inner dialogue with them, you are just talking to ghosts at that point. And you're going to pay the price for that. Eventually your body, your nerves are going to get tired. And it's happened to all of us here on the channel. And that's why most people end up in the sensitized boat. Some people are lucky and they don't get to that point. But most of the population do spend most of their life talking to the ghost in their head. The thoughts are not you. Okay, they're not your responsibility, and you have to drop the desire to do something about the thoughts. They are not your responsibility. They do not come from you. They are just a product of your brain, random thoughts, and they're no longer your responsibility. There's nothing wrong with having a thinking mind and using it to problem solve when reasonable, okay? Using it to problem solve and plan when reasonable. That's why we have a mind. That's what separates us from animals. And that's great. That's awesome. That's amazing. But as of right now, most people spend most of their time talking to the voice in their head, and it gets them absolutely nowhere. Right now, the mind is in control. The mind is in control for most people, and they don't even realize it. So when you first become aware of that and you're trying to break out of that, it can be a bit difficult, and you can find yourself falling back and back and back again into the bad habit of arguing with your thoughts. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for that. My mom told me to stop Googling and I didn't listen because I was being so anxious, and it didn't help. It just made things worse. So fuck Google. Yeah, fuck Google. Can we get everyone to drop a fuck Google in the chat? Actually, don't do that. If I ever turn on ads, Google pays me. Don't do that. My account just goes down overnight. Sorry, this channel is unavailable. April, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our YouTube family. Stay in the present moment, yes. I'm pretty much recovered. Rarely get anxious. Learning to accept and not pay attention to intrusive thoughts and accept my feelings has changed my life. Thank you, Wonder Bro. My pleasure. Happy to hear it. Congratulations. Congratulations. How long we live for, or are we just vibing out till whenever? We're just vibing out till whenever, dude. Honestly, I'm gonna have a bit of a cookout later, here in like an hour or two, I'd say. So we'll probably end it in just a bit, maybe in like an hour or so. I don't know. We're just winging it. We're just winging it. Hopefully the mic quality sounds better today. I discovered last night when kind of just messing around with my settings and shit that the Corsair headset, even though it's great for audio, the mic portion is nowhere near as good as like using a standalone, like my toner mic here. So I hooked it all back up, got my mic stand all, my wobbly mic arm back up. I'm going to send you a nice PayPal amount once I start my new job. Well, thank you for that. Don't feel obligated to donate, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. Donations do help a ton. I do not have ads turned on right now, so donations keep me afloat. IRL streams would be lit, bro. Right, if I had like actual phone service. I don't have phone service. I just use Wi-Fi on my phone. So it's like once I'm away from Wi-Fi, I'm done. There's no streaming at that point. I tried that a few weeks back. I don't know if that video's been deleted since then, but I tried that a few weeks back when I was out taking photos with my camera. I like to do photography from time to time, and the stream was just almost unwatchable. It was just almost unwatchable trying to use my service. I had service at the time, and even with service, it was hard to stream. I get paid soon, so I got a surprise for you. You guys are too kind. You guys are too kind. You spoil me. I truly do appreciate it, though. Thank you so much. It helps. It helps a ton. You guys are my lifeline at this point. Do I give my thoughts a reaction when they come, or try to start laughing, smiling? Just smile at them. You can acknowledge them. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging intrusive thoughts when they come, okay? But we just want to smile at them. We don't want to do anything with them. I mean, you can try to argue with them, which is what you've been doing for however many years, but it's like trying to take Mike Tyson on in the boxing ring. You're going to get your shit rocked every single time. You might feel like you're coming out on top if you argue with your thoughts from time to time, but I'm telling you, they're just going to come back stronger. So, I mean, arguing with your thoughts is, you're going to get your shit rocked. And that's something you probably already realize. It's just a habit at this point. It's just a habit of arguing at this point. Your photography is awesome, bro. Please take more pics. I would like to. I recently charged my camera back up for the first time in forever, so we'll see. Do they come from subconscious? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's just thoughts that are pretty much concreted into your brain at this point because they've been given so many reactions in the past and they've been fought with so much in the past that they continue to come back and back and back. So the less you fight with them and the more you just smile at them and notice them and just say, fuck you, okay? The less and less they'll cause a reaction, and the less and less they are likely to return. You are the fuel. You are the fuel for the thoughts. You are what they need to survive. You are your worst enemy. Yeah, basically, at the end of the day, you can be your own worst enemy. I think at this point you're just in that anxious state where you're overthinking it way too much, Jalen. All I want you to do at this point going forward is to simply, when a negative intrusive thought comes, you can just notice it, like even look up in the sky, oh, there it is, and you can just smile at it and you can just say, no thanks. I'm not going to entertain that. You're just telling yourself no thanks to entertaining that, to going there. If the thought wants to stay, that's fine. You're just telling yourself no thanks to adding anything to it. You just notice it and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not going there. And if the thought wants to come back, that's fine. That's fine. If it wants to keep coming back and back and back, that's fine. That's fine. It probably will at first. But we're no longer giving it our attention. If it wants to be there, that's fine. You're in the right place, Brady. Keep learning. I really need a new microphone arm. I wore this one out. It was my fault. There's no way this thing should be as in bad of a condition as it is. It's totally my fault. I've not had it very long. I was too rough on it. My next buy for the channel, I would like to get one of those green screens. Not an entire huge green screen, I've already got one of those, but like a, it's like just a little oval cutout green screen that you put directly behind you. That would be cool. Put it up on the wall right behind me here. I'd like to get some sort of LED lights too. Colorful LED lights to put behind me. That would be cool. That would be lit. I've got some ideas. What advice do I have for someone facing a physical illness who has anxiety? So if you're facing an actual physical illness, it goes back to a question we had earlier in the stream, which was, what do we do when we can't stop obsessing over something that is actually really happening? And it goes back to that. You really have two options. You can either A, continue to worry and obsess over this physical illness, and you're just putting yourself in a worse state to heal and recover even from the illness itself, because a body in a state of stress and obsession does not heal as well as a body that is at peace. So you can either A, continue to worry and obsess, which is not helping the illness at all, or you can B, learn mindfulness, meditation. It's all the same. It all means the same thing. Don't get confused on terms. You can learn how to accept thoughts without following them and put your body in a better state of ease and peace, which is going to help you with your physical illness. It is proven. It is proven. It's not just a bunch of spiritual nonsense and bullshit. It is proven that a body in a state of peace heals much better from physical illness than a body that's in a state of stress. I feel for you, Jalen, because my anxiety started at a very young age too, around 14, 15, and it was a very confusing and scary time for me. And I'm here to tell you from someone who's been there, done that at around the same age and did it for years, that the first thing you need to do is stay off Google. The second thing that you need to do is to accept your thoughts without fighting with them. Just say no thanks to going there. And the third thing you need to do is just to see your feelings for what they are. Just some feelings, anxiety, symptoms. They don't mean anything. They're not going to turn into anything. Take it from a guy who is now 26 and started at about 15 with anxiety. You can worry all that you want, but nothing's ever going to happen to you. The only thing that will happen is you'll continue to scare yourself unnecessarily. So, two main keys: don't fight with the thoughts, just say no thanks, and accept your feelings for what they are while wearing a smile and doing as many positive things as one day, every day as you can. Those two things. If you can do that, you will recover. You can put this behind you. You can get an early start. Take it from me. Take it from me. Been there, done that from a very young age. I know how confusing and scary it can seem, but listen to what I just told you and you'll be fine. Believe me. I've been through it. You don't have to go through it. How do you build your confidence back up? How do you return to a normal life? Basically, how do you get on with life after you've healed? It'll come on gradually. In fact, healing happens very gradually. It happens so gradually for most people that there's no big moment with bells and whistles. You just start to notice that you're slowly becoming yourself again. Your old emotions start to return, and you notice that you're just, like I said, becoming yourself again. It'll happen naturally. You'll get back in life naturally. Don't overthink it. Just let life happen. You'll get back to your old self again. That's the problem with 90% of this, right? We tend to overthink it. Don't overthink it. Okay, it'll happen naturally. Your confidence will come back naturally. You'll return to a normal life naturally. It's nothing we need to force. Yeah, so Jalen, if you're still in the stream, I'm sorry, I've got a huge soft spot right now. He told me he was like 14, and I can just relate. It's giving me flashbacks to when I was around that age and I started to first have my first little glimpses of anxiety. Of course, sensitization didn't set in until many years later, but it's giving me flashbacks, man, because I remember at what it feels to be 14, 15 years old and have no fucking clue what's going on with your anxiety. And that sucks, and I'm sorry, dude, but please, if you're still in the stream, I want you to write down two things, and those two things are A, just start saying no thanks to going there with your thoughts. Let them be. Notice them and just say no thanks and put on a smile every time. Okay, and if they want to stay, that's fine. But it's just no thanks, I'm not going there from you. And B, okay, I want you to see your feelings for what they are. There's a little bit of extra energy, there's a little bit of fear, and that's fine. And I want you to start to embrace them and just do as many positive things in one day, each and every day, to retrain your brain as you can. Those two things, write that down, dedicate to that. You don't have to spend a whole nother year doing this shit. Believe me. Believe me. Don't get it confused either. Don't get it confused. When I say to say no thanks to your thoughts, I'm not saying to push them away. I'm not saying to try to force them out. I'm just saying to remind yourself. Remind yourself, no thanks, I'm not going to fuel that or entertain that. It can be there if it wants. I'm not saying to try to push them out. If it wants to play, that's fine. I'm just saying to remind yourself, no thanks. Kristen, thank you for that $10 dono. Can we get some love in the chat for Kristen? Thank you so much for our first dono of the stream. Truly appreciate it. Welcome to the top of the Hall of Fame. Your name will also be in the tip ticker. Thank you so much. Kristen says, I've started telling my anxiety to do its worst, and surprise, it mostly fucks off. Thanks for the advice. That is awesome, and it mostly fucks off because you're no longer adding second fear. Second fear is what first fear needs to survive. Thank you so much for that, Kristen. Can we show her some love, please? Wonder Bro speaks knowledge. Thanks, Hank. Appreciate it. If you're not subbed and you're watching right now, sub up, sub up. We do regular videos, okay? For those of you who enjoy the videos, we do videos all the time, and we also do these streams where we just hang out and talk about mental health and shit. So if you're not subbed, sub up, become a regular. We'd love to have you on that road to 10K. Also, share me out, guys. Share me out. Help me grow. Let's hit that 10K. If you know someone that's struggling that could benefit from this channel, let's do it.
Donation.
Will, thank you for the $5 dono. Can we show some love to Will in the chat, please? Let's spam the chat. Let's get a wall going. Let's spam the chat with some love. Thank you for that, Will. Let's update this. Thank you. Welcome to the top of the Hall of Fame. Why'd my tip ticker? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Will. Hell yeah, appreciate it. You're awesome. Mwah. Love you guys, Will and Kristen. Thank you. I would donate, but PayPal froze me. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Look at all that love in the chat. I love to see it. Love to see it. Makes my heart happy. Where did you learn your techniques of acceptance from? Dr. Claire Weeks, the amazing Dr. Claire Weeks, okay? And I learned a lot of what I know about thoughts from Eckhart Tolle and Alan Watts. Great spiritual teachers like that. Don't let the word spiritual scare you. This is proven shit, okay? This is not just some spiritual nonsense. But yeah, I learned most of what I know from Dr. Claire Weeks. Amazing woman. I would recommend her books to anybody. She does touch on thoughts from time to time, not a whole lot, but her outlook on thoughts is basically the same as mine. Don't be bluffed by thought. Don't give it attention. So yeah, I learn a lot from pretty much multiple sources, and then of course personal experience, years of personal experience, and then I kind of just mushed it all together and made my own thing and put my own spin on it and called it the 2 Main Keys. And for a lot of people here on the channel, it's been very beneficial. We've had a lot of recovery success stories here. We need some upbeat music. I keep talking about that video, but if you need extra motivation and hope, check out my recovery success comments video. It's a video of just success comments that I've put together here on the channel. I need to make a part 2 to that. It's kind of old. There we go. Okay, man, thank you, because this all started from a movie that worries me, and my reality, my mind getting ate by wolves, and it worries me. The mind is tricky, man, but if you listen to those 2 things that I told you to write down, okay, and to follow, you will be just fine, believe me. But you have to start today, and you have to stay dedicated. It's very easy to slip back into old negative habits. That's just a bluff, okay? It's tempting. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Just stay dedicated and use the advice, and you will heal. She is a legend. Absolutely, she is a legend. She kind of got me on board with acceptance in general, and then I just kind of learned from there. Expanded from there. But it all began with Dr. Claire Weeks. The entire concept of acceptance was a new concept for me. Until I started to watch some of her lectures on YouTube. And we've talked a lot about thoughts today, but just to brush on accepting behaviors. All I mean by that is to get positive shit done. Get up, take a shower, take care of yourself, sing to your favorite song, dance a little bit, nod your head a little bit, sit up straight and tall, watch your favorite movie, put on a smile, wear a smile more often, make a full meal, eat a full meal, take your dog for a walk, just even little things. That's all I mean by the acceptance part of things, okay? Just wanted to throw that out there because we focused mainly on thoughts this stream. Yeah, ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. Correct me if I'm wrong because I've not done a whole lot of research on ACT, but it's basically just acceptance. It's basically just going on with your life, moving on with your life, learning how to accept difficult feelings and thoughts without resisting them or trying to do anything about them. It's basically the same thing I teach, right? I'm pretty sure. I know somebody was mentioning therapist earlier. I just want to say again for the record, okay, if you're seeing a therapist or a doctor or whatever the case may be, do not stop seeing your therapist or doctor, or do not stop taking your medication, okay? You're doing all of that and making all of those decisions on your own. I have nothing to do with that. I would never recommend someone stop seeing their doctor or therapist or stop taking their medication. That is completely up to you. That is completely up to you, just for the record. I say that quite often. And it's kind of just like a disclaimer. It's completely up to you as far as all that is concerned. I'm just sharing what worked for me, my opinion on things, and what you do with it is your responsibility. Just for the record, just some boring disclaimer stuff real quick. Yeah, most therapy-based programs or whatever, they tend to be overcomplicated, at least in my opinion. I try to make my advice very, very simple and easy to follow because there's no need for confusion, especially in a sensitized state. Exactly, Jalen. Just say no thanks to going there with the thoughts and just let them be there. And do as many positive things each and every day as you can. That's the acceptance portion. That's the showing your brain that everything is okay portion. I listen to all those teachers you mentioned before, though I understand conceptually, I have a hard time, or should I say a slow time, experiencing directly what they teach. What's your input? So as far as Eckhart Tolle and Alan Watts go, these are very spiritual-based teachers. They talk about mindfulness, meditation. It all means the same thing, basically. Eckhart's very slow in the way he speaks. It's because he's so damn present. And Alan is a bit complicated in the way he speaks. At first, I understood conceptually like you, but I had a hard time really digesting it. I would recommend that when you listen to Eckhart, or especially Alan Watts, that you listen with an open mind and you don't try to understand what he's saying. That sounds a bit confusing, but don't try too hard to understand what Alan Watts is saying. Just take it in, and it'll start to click. It'll start to click. When we try too hard to understand something, we overcomplicate it. It's actually very counterproductive. So just take it in, listen to it, continue to listen to it if that's what you're interested in, if that's something you would like to do, and just listen, just listen. Your two main keys are just much simpler to understand, and you sum up ERP and ACT in a much easier to understand way. I try to, because like I said, there's no need for confusion, especially in a sensitized state. And the only reason programs like ERP and ACT seem overcomplicated is because you've got to make them a bit overcomplicated if you want to sell books, right? If you want to sell a program, there needs to be plenty to read, or you don't have much of a program. For example, if I wanted to sell the two main keys, which of course that's not my goal, but if I wanted to sell the two main keys, I would need to overcomplicate it a bit, because I couldn't print out a program or a booklet that just has the two main keys, which is like 4 sentences, and sell that. No one would buy it. So you get what I'm getting at? I mean, for marketing purposes, you got to make programs a bit more complicated than they need to be. In fact, 90% of anxiety programs could be boiled down to about a paragraph or two. But like I said, for marketing purposes, you can't sell a paragraph. You can't sell a paragraph in a book. I'd buy your 2-page book. If I wrote a book, it would be about 2 pages long. It would be about 2 pages long. I might write a book one day, and I'll fill it with stuff you don't really need to read, because I need to sell the book. But you guys know what the two main keys are, so fuck it. Buy the book anyway, even though it's filled with nonsense you don't need to read. Tony, hello. I don't think I've seen you in here before, or it's probably been a very long time. I love you too, man. It'll be like an inside joke, right? The book will be like an inside joke, okay? I'll write a book, and you guys know my stand on things. You know that I keep things simple. But it'll be like an inside joke. You guys know that I'm like wording it way more complicated than it needs to be, so I can sell copies. You guys will know that. My subscribers will know that. Other people who haven't subscribed to my channel, they won't know that. So they'll be reading like this 300-page book, and all my subs, in the back of their mind, they'll know, I know what he's doing. He could have wrote this in 2 paragraphs. I know what he's doing. He's trying to sell copies. I thought Eckhart Tolle was a weirdo at first, but you're right, his presence is on another level. A lot of people think Eckhart's a weirdo at first just because he talks so slowly. He talks so slowly, but that's because he's letting words naturally just flow to him, and he's in the moment. He doesn't, he mentioned once that he doesn't come into his lectures with any plans. He sits there in presence and lets the words come to him. Another thing, though, as I understand conceptually and begin to experience what the teachers are talking about, sometimes it makes me anxious. Yeah, when you are present, when you are truly present, you are for the first time facing and truly accepting these feelings. So it may seem that they're a bit stronger. They're not actually stronger, but it's you're present, and you're no longer fighting these feelings. You're no longer trying to choke them out and drown them out with all the inner dialogue. You're coming face to face with them for the first time. And that's why these feelings can seem a bit stronger at first. They're not actually stronger, but I think you get what I'm saying. You're actually facing them for the first time. And that's why a lot of people say when they first meditate for the first time, which is basically just being present, that they experience a little bit of fear. And that's why. Just put your 2 paragraphs at the very end of the book and then put a note like, congratulations on reading all that. Now here's the real book. That would be funny. That would be funny. What I would probably do is at the end of the book, I would put parentheses to sum it all up. and then I'd write 2 paragraphs. So, little do you know, you could have flipped to the last page and got all the advice you needed right there. The 2 main keys. That was a huge part of why I started my channel. I was so internally pissed off and like aggravated at the fact that when I needed help the most, I couldn't find a simple fucking to the point video. I would stay on Google for months with multiple tabs open, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of a bunch of bullshit that I didn't even need to read. And when I would think or consider buying a program, I would see that it was like a 400-page program, and it just pissed me off. It pissed me off that I was in such a horrible state, and I could not find just a simple, to the point, here's how you fucking get over it. It just made me so angry. People do not have time for that. When they are in a sensitized and fearful state, that sucks ass, especially if you don't know what to do. People don't have time to spend hours and hours and hours trying to find a solution. Just, you should be able to go to Google or YouTube and type in anxiety cure or anxiety advice, and it be right there on the front page, a 3-minute video like the one I made the other day, and that be it, and you can learn it and move the fuck on with your life. That should be how that goes. I don't know why it's so overcomplicated. Actually, I do know, because it sells. You can sell people, okay, advice, useless advice. And that's why it's not as simple and to the point as it should be, because it makes people a lot of fucking money. Yes, I take on donations, which are completely optional. And yes, one day I might turn on ads, but that doesn't cost you a dime. But to sell people advice that's completely useless and doesn't even help in the end anyway, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. How do we break that rabbit wheel? Will, love what you're doing, bro. You just have to become more aware. Become more aware of when you're entertaining thoughts that you shouldn't be, and basically refuse to do that. You have to build a habit of becoming aware and choosing not to follow thoughts. Sorry, I got off on a bit of a rant there. I could feel some anger bubbling up in my chest. When I get on my rants, I stay on my rants. It's hard for me to change directions. It's just, it really is sad, because I remember being in such an awful place where I was pissing in 2-liter bottles and was on Google on my laptop all day every day, and I could not find how to heal. Thank God I stumbled across Dr. Claire Weeks. But until that point, there was just so much useless information and so many people trying to capitalize off these programs. I won't mention any specifically, of course, but so many people trying to capitalize off these overcomplicated programs. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It should be as simple as typing in anxiety recovery, and you should be able to watch a few minute long video and be able to get the help you need. And that was a huge part of why I started this channel. Yeah, it's normal. A lot of people experience worsened anxiety in hot weather. Inner child healing, journal prompts. Shake my head reading people saying they tried it all and still aren't better. Yeah, I mean, inner child healing and all these fancy bullshit terms. The 2 main keys, guys. Use the 2 main keys. Try it for yourself. Give us some time and tell me what you think. Okay? And then if the 2 main keys don't work for you, which they will, okay, I'm just going to say that, which they will if you dedicate to them. If the 2 main keys don't work for you, then you can go on and try fucking inner child healing, chakra healing, fucking 16-week long anxiety program on how to jump through all the hoops, and fucking you need to do a 360 spin while doing 3 backflips and then write a paragraph on your inner child. You can try all that after the 2 main keys, but I urge you just to try the 2 main keys. Fucking some of these programs out here having you light 8 candles in your living room floor and fucking sacrifice an entire ass cow. keep fighting your thoughts, keep fighting your thoughts, trying to push thoughts. A lot of people, for some reason, are still under the very flawed notion that fighting thoughts is the way to go. Don't get me wrong, there's a place and time for being a positive thinker. But fighting your thoughts, I mean, it's scientifically proven that the more you fight your thoughts, the more sticky they become. And you're starting to see more and more programs like ACT. It's becoming more popular, okay, these days, to not fight with your thoughts. We're starting to learn more and more about how the mind works these days. And you're noticing that acceptance is becoming more and more popular because we're starting to catch on. We're starting to catch on to the truth. You will not fall. Claire Weeks mentions it in her book somewhere, I forget which book, that your jelly legs, as she calls it, will get you from point A to point B just fine. You're not going to fall over. Very common symptom. It's so simple. It's so simple. The reason it's not made as simple as it should be is because people are capitalizing off of it. In my opinion. It does not have to be as overcomplicated as most people make it. Does not have to be. And I think it comes back to money. I think it comes back to money. In my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I understand that people have to live and they have to survive. I get that. You have to have money. It's unfortunate. Can't survive without money. But there's better ways to go about it. Like, just from the donations I receive and the coaching sessions I do, I still make a decent amount. I make enough to survive. But at the same time, you can still get the advice for completely free. You don't need the coaching sessions. You can watch the videos. If somebody out there suffering doesn't have a penny to their name, that's fine. They don't need a penny. They can watch the videos and recover. So there's better ways to go about making a living from doing this sort of thing while also helping people. It's possible. You can make a living and also help people at the same time. And you can do it in such a way that those people out there that don't have any money, they don't have to spend any money. They can still get the same advice as everybody else for free. Thank you, Tessa, for that $3.69 donation. That's a very specific number, $3.69. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Can we show her some love in the chat, please? Can we show her some love? Thank you. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Your name will now be entered into the tip ticker. And we need to update the tip goal. I'm just going to put 18 so that I don't have to count the cents. Is that okay? I'm not good at math. Just want to keep it even. Thank you for that. If you have a disturbing picture in your head, that's okay. You don't want to follow it. You don't want to entertain it. It can be there. There's nothing we can do about the thoughts being there. But we can make the choice to not entertain them. Just tell yourself no thanks to going there. I wish I would have known about the 2 main keys before I spent hella money on DPDR coaching sessions. People will charge an arm and leg and knowing that people will pay because they are scared. Exactly, and that's why... Okay, wait, hold on. Lucy, thank you so much for that $5 donation. Truly appreciate it. That's why I make all my advice free in the videos. The coaching sessions are optional. I don't hold anything out of the videos, so that people that can't afford anything can still recover. They can still get the advice. And the coaching is just like a little extra thing if you want some one-on-one time. And that's why I do it that way. That's why I do it that way. And thank you so much, Lucy. That's 23, right? Thank you for that $5 donation, Lucy. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Your name is now back into the tip ticker. Appreciate it. Exactly, and yours are reasonably priced. Yeah, it's just like a little, it's just icing on the cake, the coaching sessions. You don't have to have them. Everything you need to recover and heal is in the free videos. I just do them for people that want one-on-ones and can't afford it, and, it helps me stay afloat. It helps me to survive in this world that runs on money. And the donations, you wouldn't believe. You guys are so selfless and so giving. And the donations help me more than you know. The donations, even more so than the coaching sessions, I would say, help me to stay afloat. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. Look at all that emoji love. Thank you guys. Lucy, Tessa, Will, thank you for your donations today. Kristen, I'm not sure, was that from today? I don't know, but thank you guys anyway. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, switching to the BRB screen for literally 2 seconds, so just hang tight. I think I need to fix the comments. There we go. I wasn't going to upload this because I knew this was going to be a long stream, and I normally don't upload the long casual streams. But this has been anything but a casual stream, okay? We've covered some great topics today. Some great points. So I probably will upload this, actually. How's everybody doing today? Let's bring it down a notch. I'm getting red in the face because I've been rambling non-stop for an hour. I'm running out of oxygen. Let's bring it down a notch. It's been a high intensity stream here. I've been ranting. Okay. How's everybody doing? What's everybody up to? Still eating ice cream? Hello, welcome. How are you doing today? Hello, welcome, welcome. I feel like a DJ. Smoking a cig. Chillin', chillin'. I feel ya, I feel ya. I'm gonna drop the link to the, I don't know why I've got this down. It's not even the mic I'm using. I'm gonna drop the link to the Discord, guys. Interested in joining the Discord? I'm gonna drop a link for you. Join us, chat, hang out with us, chill with us. Please upload this one. I'd love to be able to rewatch. I'm going to. I didn't plan on it. Like I said, I normally don't upload the long streams, but it's been a good stream. We went over some pretty important topics. So yeah, I'll upload this one. Oh, I'm so excited. You guys don't even know. I am so excited for 10K. Oh, we are right around the corner, baby. So pumped for 10K. The next thing you'll see on the channel is probably going to be a video. We need to make a video, so it's probably what we'll do next. But these casual streams that normally don't get uploaded, I plan on doing them way more often. My regulars in here. Lucy, we're gonna give you mod. I don't know if you want to be a mod, but you're a mod now. Acceptance, right? I need more mods. I don't actually need more mods. This is like the most non-toxic chat on YouTube. I just like knowing I have mods. There we go. It's a better way to put that. I am honored. Well, good. I'm glad. Your anxiety will go away in time, especially if you're using the two main keys. Especially if you're using the two main keys. I mean, if you don't have an appetite, you don't have an appetite, right? You can't force yourself to choke something down if you don't have an appetite. So in that case, I mean, don't choke something down if you don't feel like eating it. You still gotta eat, though. You still gotta eat. If it gets to the point where it's causing you to not be able to eat, period, yeah, at that point, I would probably start making myself eat regardless. But the more you try to force a mental image out of your head, the harder it's going to be to do that. So acceptance is always key. Alright guys, since I am going to upload this stream, because it has been a great one, I'm going to go ahead and end it here so it doesn't drag on for too long. Let's get this music stopped real quick. I'm going to go ahead and end it here since we are going to be uploading it. Thank you guys for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. Lucy, Tessa, Will, Kristen, Sanchez, Muncie, just to name a few people that have donated recently. Thank you guys so much. The Way, thank you. Thank you guys, all my recent subscribers, donators, everyone who watches and views my content. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Let's get to 10K subs. I'm going to drop that Discord link one more time. You're running out of time. We're about to end it, so if you want to join Discord, make sure you click it. Make sure you click that link. Alright, you guys, if you're not subbed already, consider subbing, and I will see you guys in the next stream and or video. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right there. Stay awesome.